All right, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Senpai Kouhai podcast. Executed that perfectly. I didn't say it with any stutters or mess ups.
I'm
Very
impressed.
proud. I practice every time I go to the bathroom. No questions, please. I am joined tonight by Steven, my
Hey
man's.
yo,
How are you doing tonight, Steven?
I am doing fantastic. I am just ready to get back into this after a long week of fun and everything else that I've already been experiencing. But we'll get into that here in a bit. So, how do you want to start this bad boy off, Trey?
Well, I can take my shirt. Oh, did you mean the episode?
Yes, the
Oh,
episode, not that.
oh, okay. Well, okay. So with that, I actually have a game for you. We can. It's this one is catchphrases. For those uninitiated to the show, I've been hitting Stephen with different things to kind of guess on and find the familiarity or the I guess the patterns. Hey, whose special move is this? What opening is this? And this time it's catchphrases. Whose catchphrase is this from what show? The
Oh
first
boy.
one is it's not too bad. I think I picked pretty popular ones and ones I think you're gonna know. The first one is "I, sir."
Oh dear Lord, is that Happy from Fairy Tale?
You got it. You
Oh
got it.
man, I only read the manga for that. I never watched the anime.
I
I
think I may read it. I feel like I'd really like Fairy Tale from what I've been told about it. I feel like it's right up my alley. But
Oh, absolutely.
I haven't. I'm scared to watch Shonen. I'm just scared.
It is definitely shonen. It is shonen by the book. It's lovable rascals, team of rascals. Starts out small cast, eventually gets big cast. Power of friendship kind of flows into that thing. You got
Ooh, I like
you got
that.
you got a new group of baddies almost each arc. But it does mix in some cool lore that kind of extends over the whole series, and I love Hiro Mashima's artwork.
Yeah.
And as an aside for extra, just kind of fun facts. The assistant of Hiro Mashima made a series called Yankee Kun to Megane-chan, and it's just goofy kind of romantic comedy about this Yankee that gets harassed by this good girl to be a better student, and the assistant clearly worked with Hiro Mashima. Mashima. I'm so bad at I mess up those names all the time, but the art looks exactly the same as his style, so it's really cool. So if you ever want to check that out, go chase it down. It's actually completed. You can usually find it in most places.
I may have seen the covers for that one. There's one that looks like it's in space that I've seen recently, I think. And the guy looks just like Natsu.
That is Hiro Mashima's new work, Eden Zero, and I believe
Eden
Netflix
Zero.
has the anime, and the manga's definitely being done by Viz, if I recall correctly.
Okay. Good deal.
What's the
That
next one?
explains that.
Hit me.
Next one. Datebayo. Believe it.
Oh God, Naruto. I knew that one was going to pop up on here, and I knew you were going to hit me
Absolutely.
with that terrible dub line.
That's what believe
Look,
it is the terrible dub line?
I can't stand that. It sounds so ridiculous. And
What?
I know that's essentially what he's kind of adding on at the end of his stuff in the original dialogue in Japanese, but I don't know. I can ignore it. Like, I don't know. The English dub is good, and then he throws that shit out, and it makes me cringe a little bit.
Oh man. I'm gonna be the Hokage one day. Believe it.
Oh my
That's
gosh, it
that's
hurts.
amazing.
It hurts every time. Look, I need you to know that I watched Naruto from the moment it started. I remember getting episode 1 on fansubs, like downloaded it from IRC. Do you even know what IRC is?
You've told me before. It's like
Oh, that's right. I've told
bootleg,
you.
right? Underground bootleg something.
Yeah, it's like internet relay chat. Yeah, it's this whole old school thing. And I remember getting fan subs of that episode by episode each week. And oh man. Yeah, so much better in Japanese. Hit me with the next one.
Next one. Who the hell do you think I am?
Oh God. This one I actually know, but it's escaping me. Now I'm just thinking of Better Off Dead. Don't say that.
Can you guess the anime?
Uh, is that Gurren Lagann?
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
is that Kamina?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
Kamina.
Yes, it is.
Wow, I pulled
Three
it
for
from nowhere.
three. Yes, sir. I couldn't have
Jesus.
gotten the name, but I would have known Gurren Lagann because that guy
I,
always said that out of nowhere. Like it'd be
an, another
unwarranted.
series I didn't watch dubbed. Like I had to guess at that. I watched that fan subbed as well back in the day.
Wow.
When they licensed it, Bandai licensed it originally, and
Mhm.
I was so pumped to get it, and then I got the set, and then somebody stole it, so that was sucky.
That's a that's a very sad story.
It was
Next up,
just like comic
yes,
book.
my lord.
Yes, my lord.
Servants
That,
fighting.
servants fighting. It's really not narrowing it down, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. Sebastian from Black Butler.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have got. I watched the first season and I was enthused at the concept. The chainsaw guy, girl, can't remember.
I didn't
Uh,
watch any of it. I
you
just
didn't watch
know
any of it?
no,
There
I know
was
the concept of it. It was really hot when I was in high school, but I never got to it because I was just watching other things.
I just never really got into the pretty boy kind of like Victorian era kind of thing going on to it. There was definitely some kind of fun moments in it, and I liked the character design of the weird chainsaw guy. But that was what I took away from it. I really should go back and watch it because everybody says it's really good, and I did enjoy the first season.
I like the description of chainsaw guy. That that allures me.
It's this crazy red-haired guy with like very pointy teeth and like rolling around with a chainsaw. If I remember correctly, I could have just been a fever dream for all I know.
Oh, I like how that sounds too. The final one, maybe the easiest one.
Oh
It's
boy.
time to duel.
Oh, is that Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes, yes.
I need you to understand something very important. I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh. I was into college by the time Yu-Gi-Oh was like a big thing for me. I knew about it tangentially. I tried to play the card game once, and I saw some descriptions that looked like they were books, and I was like, "Oh no!" And the system was just like I just wasn't playing card games at that point in time. But the one I do remember, and the only reason I know that one is because I read the manga, which was a lot darker
Yeah.
than the show.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
the show still had its moments. Like I've seen some listicles that have listed some of the dark shit in that show, and like when you really kind of like get away from the kids show context, it's kind of off.
Yeah, 4 Kids really goofed that up and lightened the show a lot. But damn, I think this may be your first 5 for 5.
Nope, I got 4 out of 5, buddy. I didn't know Sebastian.
Oh damn, you got me.
Yeah, I got an
I was
80%.
gonna give you one for free.
No,
Four
I'll
for
take
five.
my not perfect. I'm gonna get it the good old fashioned way one day.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, apart from our game of the catchphrases, Steven, what are you watching? What animes are you going through?
Oh man, so I started watching Hajime no Ippo again, which, if you don't know, it's a really famous boxing manga.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's over 1,000 chapters in the manga now.
Yeah,
But they made a anime series for it that is about 52 episodes long, and
that's an older anime too, right?
oh
From
yeah,
like
absolutely.
later '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and it's not that old. I'd say it's like mid 2000s, maybe early 10s, kind of
Oh,
area. It was
okay.
yeah, it was animated well. Um and I don't know, there's just something about watching the boxing matches being animated and the way they animate like the impacts of the hits and everything. It's so freaking hype. Like it's kind of the same way, Baki is kind of impressive in motion as well. And but in this series it's a little more wholesome. You know and he's just like this kind of loser kid, and he ends up getting tutored in boxing from this kind of ruffian dude, and he just kind of sticks to it and gets into it. um and he starts getting rivals and taking on bigger matches, starts learning techniques and stuff like that. It's just fun to watch. It's inspiring, and the fights are really good. Like his main rival, in my opinion, is Sendo, the Naniwa Tiger. And he's kind of like this hot-headed, like delinquent kind of guy that ended up becoming a boxer. And their matches are pretty much the like end point of each respective season, like episodes 1 through 24, and then 25 through like 50 something.
Mm-hmm.
And so their first match is kind of like mid-season finale, and it's just freaking nuts. Like the way they fight, because they both are like, because they talk about in the show like all the different types of fighting styles and things like that, and kind of all the different techniques. And they both are infighters, and so they just get in there and start whomping on each other, and it's really cool. It's definitely hot blooded, just get hyped fun. And he's a good kid, and he's got a lot of motivation, and there's some comedy mixed in, so I like it. It's one of my comfort food animes, and I do go back to it every couple of years or so when I just really want to enjoy something.
Yeah.
So I've been watching that. I've been watching The Detective Is Already Dead, which I am still reserving judgment on. It's definitely slow moving to start. I like detective shows, and they tend to be like that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of exposition whenever it comes to this, but it's got some weird kind of idiosyncrasies, and the main characters kind of got a weird personality. He prides himself on being an assistant, but he's kind of a smartass and sarcastic through the whole thing. But it also clearly shows that he learned how to be a detective, and it slowly dips in stuff from the past that he has with the original detective he was with. I highly recommend checking it out. It's at least pretty, but I'll reserve judgment after a couple more episodes, and we'll see where we go from there. Honestly, and of course, Iruma-kun. Can't go wrong with Iruma-kun. And I just caught up to the manga, which I think they just wrapped up the first year of the manga and ended it on such a freaking great note. I was so freaking hyped earlier. Oh, such a great final panel. Anyways, what about you? I mean, I got all kinds of other things to talk about anime wise, but I've been talking for a hot second.
So I almost started a Rumakun, or Welcome to Demon School, almost.
Ah,
But I don't start animes that
what?
aren't finished because I have to have an end goal. I
There is a
don't.
season 1 with an end goal. Like
There's a
there's
season
the end
two.
of season 1.
There's a
Don't you
season
dare.
2 that's
No,
not
it
finished.
wraps up like a tight little bow. It's just like blam, season 1. You don't even have to know anything going to
I
season
ain't
2.
doing that. I can't do that.
You
Can't do it.
bitch. I can't.
But
I
the
God,
worst,
this is Final Fantasy 6
the
all
worst
over again.
part is that I did it to myself with Kobayashi Dragon Maid S.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was finished, season 2, but it's only 3 episodes in.
Yeah, it just started.
And so I got to episode 4 this morning, and it stopped, and it started going to the shorts that they did to like commemorate season S or season 2 to come out. And I was like, where's the rest of the season? What happened? And sure enough, I jumped the gun. They've been promoting it so much. I just thought all of it was out at this point because it's been months. But they just put out the shorts and the 4 episodes that are out by now. But it's whatever. So I'll have to keep up, or I'll have to either watch it later. But what else am I watching? I started K-On! It's K-On! Today instead of Iruma-kun because I know K-On! Is finished.
I mean, it's not a bad choice. It's still
like your
Kyoto Animation.
disappointment.
It's still Kyoto Animation, and it's a fun little show. It's cute girls doing cute things and music and some Shimapan, so I can't be mad. And I love Kyoto Animation. I
What is
absolutely adore
Shimapan?
them. It's striped panties. They're the kind of like teal and white striped panties.
Oh,
You've never heard that?
No.
Oh boy. It's not really it's not really explicitly shown. It's kind of a joke about the show.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah,
Alright.
you got something to look forward to. I mean, cute girls doing cute things is a genre that I've been a fan of for a lot of years, and I've seen a lot of different ones. Started out with Azumanga Daioh. It's kind of got that non sequitur kind of goofy, different personality types in a school. The
Yeah.
teachers, and it's all the girls in the school, and they have different personalities and quirks. Like there's a classic character from Azumanga is Osaka, who actually has a name, but she's from Osaka and has an accent, so everybody just calls her Osaka, and she's kind of a space cadet. And it's the dub on that was actually pretty good too, so I actually watched it. And there's always the classic like, get it together, Osaka, get it together, and she completely misses all the stuff going on around her because she's such a space cadet.
Aww.
It's really fun. It's cute and it's enjoyable, and the manga is really good too. It's only like 4 volumes. When they did the anime and did 26 episodes, they made a lot of original content, so something to look back to. I have that one. And then if I had to recommend another cute girls doing cute things but completely off the wall bonkers, this is also another Kyoto Animation joint, Nichijou. Have you ever heard of this?
I think I'm gonna look it up while you talk about it Because that
Okay.
sounds really familiar. Nichijou.
Nichijou is this series about these girls at school, and there's guys and stuff like that too, but there's a lot of bizarre stuff going on, and there's really kind of off kilter stuff. Like there's a girl that completely is an idiot. There's another one that's kind of like the straight man, but then there's a girl that's, carves stuff in class. There's a guy that rides around on a goat. The gif I sent that one time of the teacher fighting the deer,
Yeah.
like wrestling the deer. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Nichijou. And there's a like a little girl scientist that has a key turned powered robot that is her maid, and they just balance between all these different scenarios, and they are completely bonkers. Some of them are a little like kind of non sequiturs, and some of them are complete absurdity, like the teacher fighting the deer. I think there's a scene where the dumb girl borrows the straight man girl's notes, and it turns out she was drawing yaoi in there, and they proceed to do this super crazy awesome animated scene where she's chasing the stupid girl because she thinks that she's going to see the yaoi. And instead of stopping and giving her notebook back, because she's just asking for the notebook, she's not saying why, the stupid girl just runs from her because she's chasing her. And it actually animates it almost like they're racing and like running on the walls and all kinds of crazy shit. It's so fun. And there's 26 episodes of complete insanity, and I recommend it to everyone. So it's still cute girls doing cute things, but it's a wild experience, and it's animated by Kyoto Animation to a T. It's so good. Get out there and find it if you can. Funimation's released it on Blu-ray. They have it dubbed. They got the sub. It's got everything.
I feel like I've seen it in different places. It has a very prominent art style or distinguished art style that I've seen that card or that title card in different places. So
oh yeah,
I can add it somewhere, I'm sure. If not,
its GIF game is strong.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
like
I'm
you
sure
will see some
familiar.
GIFs out there. Yeah, I definitely can't recommend it enough. So you watching anything else, my friend?
I am on season 3 of Billy and Mandy, and
that's right.
I don't know if I'm proud or not, but man, I'm blowing through it whenever I'm watching it, and
oh my gosh,
I'm just dying whenever it's on. The thing, it's getting away from the more hilarious parts though, so I'm kind of curious to see where it goes. Me and my brother were talking about it. Apparently there's like 3 movies that came out for Billy and Mandy. We're gonna see if I get to those. Once I get to the end of season 5, I've got to finish. I can't just not.
There was 5 seasons of that thing.
5, yeah. I mean, I don't know how to really break up the seasons because there's no continuity or anything. It's just nonsense.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, I guess technically, like regular show has 8 seasons, but it was mostly episodic, crazy stuff. I guess it just depends on how many years it was on.
Yeah, I don't think it was many. I just like watching it. It's also just good goofy shit. And like my wife will walk in and she's like, I don't know how you watch this. And I mean, it's just Billy like screaming at something and Grimm's just dancing with his scythe and Mandy is screeching because everything is wrong. And
oh wow,
I guess it just makes me, I don't know. I enjoy it. It's nostalgic.
Yeah. Hey, there's sometimes you just need the simple thing to watch. I mean, I go back to DuckTales on a regular basis. I'm a big fan of DuckTales.
I started DuckTales because I got real curious about it for some reason. I don't even know why, but I was like, man, there's got to be something to DuckTales, something. And then I wanted to watch the new DuckTales too.
Okay, so you're talking about the original DuckTales, and then you haven't watched the new DuckTales.
I want to watch both old DuckTales and then go to new DuckTales.
New DuckTales is its own thing, but it's still fun. They have a really great moment in that show, and this isn't really a spoiler per se. It's just like a fun fact. They actually, because Donald's in the show too, and
is it
Donald
Don Cheadle?
Yeah, that shit was amazing. I was blown away. He magically gets his voice fixed, and it's freaking Don Cheadle's dulcet tones coming out of his mouth. Like I was like, what is happening?
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed that moment very much, and the humor is a little more modern. And very prevalent in the newer DuckTales. But hey, I'm on board for it. It's a blast to watch. It's well animated. I like the fact that it's still a pretty simple design and kind of has all the classic characters. I think even Darkwing Duck showed up in an episode.
I would believe it. They do a lot of call outs in the couple episodes that I watched. I think I got either halfway through season 1 of New DuckTales or most the way through season one, but like they do a call out to Max and Ruby or whatever that girl's name is from the Extremely Goofy movie or the Goofy movie. Like they call out Max and his girlfriend whenever Goofy shows up later on
Oh
in the
yeah,
show, and like they just call out everybody, and it's really nice. It's a little celebration of Disney. It's
yeah.
cool.
I really enjoyed Darkwing Duck back in the day, so it made me happy to hear that he might be making a cameo. I don't know if it actually happened for sure, but
I'll let you know when I get there.
yeah, let me know. Let me know. I'm still working my way through it. Since I put priority on anime over my Western cartoons at the moment.
Over my duck shows.
Hey, I grew up with that shit. I grew up in the Disney Afternoon era. Like, do you know what Disney Afternoon is?
Mm-mm.
So in certain parts of the United States, there was like a animation block called Disney Afternoon. It was all of Disney's like animated TV shows. I think there was Gummy Bears, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop,
What the
Bonkers.
fuck is gummy bears?
Gummy Bears was okay. So it's this cartoon about this family of bears that lives in the forest, and they drink gummy bear juice, and they become bouncy. So there's a villain and everything, and it's trying to figure out the formula for the gummy bear juice, and trying to steal uh different things from them. Like, I'm trying to remember the details of why the villain actually wants this stuff. It's kind of like was it Gargamel from Smurfs? It's like, I guess he was going to cook the
Oh,
Smurfs. Yeah,
I've seen these bears.
yeah.
I just
The
didn't
theme
know that's what they
song
were called.
The theme song is classic. I actually had a CD of all the opening songs from Disney Afternoon when I was a kid, and I
Speaking of theme songs, and then I'll bring us into our next conversation topic to bring
absolutely,
us back to anime and
absolutely,
games.
yeah, I know we just went straight off the road there.
If you look up DuckTales trap remixes and
What?
Chippendale Rescue Ranger trap remixes, you wouldn't be disappointed. But apart from that, Steven, any particular games you're playing? Anything hot on the press for you?
Oh man, hot on the press. What? Oh, I started Stardew Valley again because I have a problem with farming games. I just have to keep playing them. And I also found out like the thing's been updated with like new content since I last played. So
So like you started a new farm in Stardew Valley?
absolutely, absolutely, I'm on speed run mode right now. Like I've been playing these games for so long that I know how most of it goes, and I have my own strategy for speeding through the beginning part of the game. Because I played every Rune Factory, and Rune Factory shares. I guess Stardew Valley shares a lot with Rune Factory. I really don't. It's clearly Stardew has some influence from was it Friends
Harvest
of
Moon?
Mineral Town? Yeah, Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, but a lot like the dungeon crawling is very similar to Rune Factory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Rune Factory's got a lot more story to it. Like, it's you got like a whole overall plot line in most of the games, but the farming, the cooking, the resource gathering, like all that is pretty much the same throughout the series. I think they fine tune it, add some quality of life features as you go on. And whenever they announced that Rune Factory 4 was coming for the Switch, I instantly ordered the special edition, and I've already beat the absolute piss out of it, like everything.
That's gross.
Sorry, that was probably not the best adjective to use. But Stardew Valley lives in that same zone. So as soon as it came out, like, I got on board with it. I love it to death. It's a fantastic game. I recommend it to anybody who likes any sort of simulation, a little bit of RPG action. Yeah, don't make that face. All right,
It's
don't.
also gross.
Whatever. But I've gotten so good at them now. I usually know a good method for developing a routine to go really quickly and make a lot of money very fast. And I've kind of streamlined the whole process. So
Just
I got
beat the
back into
game.
that. Yeah, now I'm kind of speed running everything through the beginning to get to the new content that's available. I've also started a co-op game with my significant other, and that's proving to be interesting because you share a farm and you can go off and do different things. So it's important to communicate because you also have to not f each other up because you share money.
Right.
So if somebody goes and spends all the money and you're off somewhere else trying to spend money and you don't have it, it's bad.
Little
So
joint bank account there.
yeah, not a fan of that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm playing. I'm still mixing in a lot of fighting games because what we'll get into here shortly. Guilty Gear is still on heavy rotation. I've started wanting to learn Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and then what was the other game I played a hell of a lot? Oh, Smash. That's what it was. Smash Ultimate, a game that I am terrible at, but keep trying to get better. That's all I can say, really. I plan to fold in Persona 5 again. I've just been distracted for a bit, but yeah, that's the gist of my gaming adventures at the moment. I can't say I've gotten a lot of time to do it. What about you, my friend?
So I finished Fire Emblem Three Houses,
Oh, damn. You
uh,
finally got through that final battle?
and it was good. Yeah, it was nice. I kind of understood the game to be one story told from three different perspectives. But as I found out after talking to a couple of our friends, it's three different timelines because you, as the professor, influence how the game plays out. And so I I was gonna go sell the game when I was done with it, but I didn't have a bad time with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm normally not a fan of tactical RPGs, but I did have a good time. There was enough waifu factor in there for me. Um, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm going to
Yeah.
go through those other stories at some point.
I think a nice break would be good. I love Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm still working my way through my first playthrough, but it's very clearly got a little bit of a persona thing going on.
Yeah,
Like it's because I've played Fire Emblem Awakening, which it's like kind of battle to battle to battle, and there's story in between and things like that. But this is you spend a lot of time at the school doing activities to get to know the characters. I mean, a lot of time, and it's important for leveling them up and things like that, and learning the story. But there's not a lot of battles in that game. Like I don't feel like there's a ton of battles compared to some of the other Fire Emblems out there.
yeah.
Like,
No,
and
I'm not sure really compared to other Fire Emblems, but I would hope that they're as smooth as they are in this one. So everyone talked about Awakening. I know you and Daryl were playing
mhm,
it. I
absolutely
I added it to my DS download list. Not yet download list, my wish list, because the DS and the Wii U shop are going to go offline soon. Um,
sad day.
can we take a minute?
Yeah.
RIP. Okay, so anyway, I added that to my download list because I was like, well, everyone praised it so much, and I might as well get it if I can. So I added it on there to see if it goes on sale, and I'll actually grab that. That'll be my other Fire Emblem game. And I was like, if it's praised, I'll
I
see if
think
it.
you'll find it very approachable because it's still got 2D sprites on it from back then. So like when in Three Houses when you were upgrading your class and it had those little mini like kind of sprites of the different classes. That's what your characters look like when you battle in Fire Emblem.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it'll zoom in when you actually attack and do abilities, and kind of like whenever it did in Three Houses. You just don't have 3D models on the field, you have little 2D sprites,
Hmm.
and they all have their unique designs and things like that. But it's I think it's gonna be very approachable because there's story and then there's a battle. Maybe you can travel around the map and there's some random battles and there's some shops to go to, but you pretty much bounce through battle to battle to battle, to story to story to story. It's there's not a because you kind of earn the closeness points in battle and to unlock those support events in
Ah,
Fire Emblem Awakening.
okay.
You
It's
don't
not
have like a
just it's not just like in emblems, or not emblems, in Three Houses, where like if you just fight close enough to each other, you get enough support,
Mhm.
loving care to
Yeah.
unlock the next event.
Yeah, I mean it's a little more like, because that's the thing, is like they can team up and become closer, and as they get close enough, they'll unlock events that they tell little side stories and things like that. Um, and it's something I easily recommend. I mean, the game's mostly still full price,
Yeah.
even like old physical copies and things like that. I think it lands around the $30 mark if you're aiming for a decent copy, and I
Yeah.
think it's original retail price, maybe even $50 if you're looking for a good copy. But if you're just going to download it, you should be able to get a good price on it.
It's still full price on the 3DS shop.
Damn.
Everything is. It's ridiculous.
uh,
So I have a wish list of the remaining 3DS, like kind of, what's the what's the word for it? I don't know, like must plays, I guess.
oh
And
yeah,
for the most part, it's the big games. I got
the
it.
quintessential.
That's
titles.
quintessential games that I need to
Yes.
play. And for the most part, they're all like the full price $30-$40
Mm-hmm.
games I have to get. And I just added Ultra Moon and Fire Emblem Awakening to it. And so got to get ready for that. Um I have a huge card in there to download everything. And I've been downloading everything to it right now, which leads me to what I'm actually playing uh on my 3DS. So I have given up on Code Dragon VFD. I couldn't bring myself to open the game back up. I wasn't having fun.
Fair enough.
So I started Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Okay, so
And
it just moved straight into
straight into another one.
similar things. Okay, cool. I
I
mean, Shin
I
Megami Tensei is its own beast, and it there's a lot more complex systems going on in that game, but there is enough similarities to some of the Persona games too.
and I'm already seeing it in like the first hour. Like I'm already recruiting demons. I've already pretty much seen my team. And one thing that I did, so since I'm downloading, I didn't buy the case. And one thing on the case, which was cool, was like you see in the background the one guy that's like covered in red and one guy that's covered in white. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that's kind of thematic throughout opening the whole game was this black and white thing. And I'm guessing it's symbolic of like good and evil because my guy, I think, goes through about helping or not helping the end of the
Mm-hmm.
world. And that's kind of what they kind of allude to in the beginning with both these characters. And I was like, whoa, a lot of stuff I missed out by not having the physical copy. Because once I looked to make our post on Twitter and I saw that, I was like, I missed out on a really cool thing here without not having the physical copy. And I was like, Steve would appreciate that. Damn.
Take that, digital boy.
Yeah, you got me. Old
No, it's
Digi Destined here lost out.
yeah, I got the set, the special edition set whenever it came out. I think it's still in there somewhere. But I then picked up the other game that they have a version of it called Apocalypse, which actually has a third storyline. So there's more to that game. Like Shin Megami Tensei 4 was a really good game that I really feel like didn't get enough attention. It's a mainline Shin Megami Tensei, so they rarely get as much attention as Persona. But I love the fact that they just keep making them. And they re-released Nocturne, so that was a good choice too. And that was, and they brought back Dante. Like, I mean, that was a solid marketing choice
For no reason. They
I
didn't have
know,
to do that. And they
I
brought
know.
back Dante.
That's right. Just bring in the quality, man. I love Atlas. Love
Yeah,
those guys.
it's good shit.
I guess it's Sega now, but
oh
yeah, I was pretty sure Sega bought Atlas. Somebody correct me.
no, I mean Sega helped. Sega and Atlas were on the Persona roster, so I don't know how that. Anyway, so
Absolutely.
I started Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 on my Switch since I'm not playing anything new on there, but I didn't want to play it. I just started going. I started going through, and I was like, man, I've already done this so many times, and it hasn't been enough time in between. So I deleted it, and I have to pick another game on my Switch to play, so I can clear off enough space so I can get Monster Hunter Stories 2. So
yeah, because you're pretty excited about that because you played the first one, right?
I played maybe 10 or so hours of the first one, and then I had like some corrupting stuff on my 3DS, and I lost it.
Oh, damn.
I re-downloaded on this new card I have because I have the account still. And I'll play it again once I do some traveling or something. And I'm like, well, I guess I could play Monster Hunter Stories because I'd rather bring my DS with me than my Switch. I just don't want to risk anything breaking.
I get that. The DS is a sturdy system, man. I love it, and the battery life is pretty damn good on it. The Switch's battery life, if you play consistently, will just end like 2.5, 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah, and I got the 2DS, so it, or like the original 2DS, so it's
like
it's
the what is it?
thing.
The piece of toast.
That's all it's toast. So I got to pick something to play. I think I'm going to play Digimon Cyber Sleuth and Cyber Hackers because that's a pretty big system on there, or file.
Cyber Sleuth is a lot of fun. I actually started that game and got about like 10 or 12 hours into, and I really want to go back to it. It's a pretty solid like story-based Digimon game, and it really kind of goes over some fan favorites. I was actually sad when I got so busy I couldn't keep up with it, and I hit that point with RPGs. Like I gotta stay on top of RPGs with enough frequency that I don't lose what I'm doing, because that's what happened to me. I put like 10 hours in that thing, and I got really busy at work or with family stuff, and I came back to it and I was like, I don't remember the system. I don't remember the story. I don't even remember why I chose these monsters. I just was lost. So I had to start over. And I plan to at some point. Like I have a pretty strict code right now where I'm not buying new games because I'm playing the ones I own. And so far, so good.
Yeah, I don't think I've bought a new game in a while. Nope, that's not true. I just bought Scarlet Nexus. Shit, I gotta go back and play Scarlet Nexus. Add that to the list.
Did you finish the first playthrough?
No, I focused on Fire Emblem. I got sucked up in that, and that absorbed me for like 2 weeks straight.
Oh, that's our book club game.
Yeah, I had to finish that by the end of the month. Actually, that's probably what I'm going to do is finish Scarlet Nexus. I'll binge that, and then I'll focus on these portable games.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrap up that PS4 title.
Yeah. What? PS4 title?
Isn't it on PS4?
Scarlet Nexus?
Yeah. Oh, you got it on PC.
Oh, yeah, I have it on PC.
That's right. I forgot.
I'm on the master race now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're going to hear about that a lot.
Oh, yeah. But so anyway, the meat and potatoes, apart from everything we fucking talked about so far, let's move on to the next segment, is fighting games. So we're coming off of a weekend of fighting games, probably about a dozen of them, maybe. I may be exaggerating.
Not too much.
No, not by many, but maybe a dozen different fighting games. So I kind of wanted to take a minute. Let's talk about a couple fighting games we've been fond of, ones we've been exposed to, maybe some of our favorites. I can kind of lead us off.
Absolutely. Start this train.
So me and my brother, we lads. When we started playing fighting games was with Dragon Ball, with the Budokais, the Budokai Tenkaichis. And back then with Budokai, they were made by Atari. And I didn't really appreciate and disappreciate or depreciate until I got Budokai again as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it and I realized every character was the same. Their combos were the same. Nothing was different.
All the button inputs were the same.
Mm-hmm. Wow, what do you mean my combo with Frieza is the same as my combo with Nappa? That shouldn't be right. One should be a heavy, one should be a light, right? But no, it was all very cheap, and they just mass produced a bunch of these fighters to put out, like Yu Yu Hakusho. They had a fighter that Atari put out, and what else? I think there's another anime fighter Atari did, which, I mean, good on them for some fan service, but man, they sucked in retrospect. But we played the shit out of those until Budokai Tenkaichi came out, and they were fun as we went through all those. And then the third Tenkaichi came out. Have you played any of those?
No.
I
was out of the rotation at that point in time.
Man.
I mean, I was full on, otaku, not really sticking to Dragon Ball Z and most of the shonen series at the time. I was into that slice of life shit, man.
You were in the weeds.
Yeah. I was a weeb before it was like totally culturally acceptable to be a weeb. Like absolutely. Like I remember somebody calling me that, and it was supposed to be an insult, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
You just told him your mama. So Tenkaichi was, or at least Tenkaichi 3, was super cool because anybody that was a character throughout the Dragon Ball saga was fightable or playable. So if it was just a peon in Frieza's army or some random character in one of the world tournaments, they were fightable. And you could
wasn't it like a Saiyaman a fighter?
Yeah.
And like the ones they plant in the ground and they grow up and they're like, hey, screw.
Yes. Whoa. Cell Juniors. Whoa, no, Saiyaman? Is that no? Yes, so Saiyaman were fighters. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like that's the first arc with Nappa and Vegeta when they first show up, or maybe it was Raditz. I can't remember, but they plant them and they grab onto Yamcha. No, so that's where the famous picture comes from.
Yeah, that was Nappa and Vegeta. They planted Saiyaman, and then you could play Cell Juniors, which were comparable to Saiyamen, and then you could play Grandpa Roshi once you unlocked him, um, which was really cool. Playing Goku's grandpa, not Grandpa Roshi, Grandpa Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was just really cool, finding stuff to unlock and play, and it was just really fun. It was a lot of fan service in that one,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of customizable shit. I'm trying to think. Apart from that, and that kind of fighter, um, we didn't have much else apart from Super Smash Brothers in our house, where we got Super Smash Brothers Melee, not Melee. We got Brawl for the Wii, and we didn't really like fighting each other because me and my brother never really fought like that. We just went through the story mode
Oh yeah.
because Subspace Emissary was so cool, and we always just fought everything through there. The team up, seeing everyone come through in the CGI cutscenes, and watched all the shit happen. It was really cool.
I never played that game and I know nothing about it. Like everybody talks about Subspace Emissary like it's this freaking, amazing adventure, and I know nothing about it. Like I said it.
So
I haven't played since the original N64 version.
there's Marvel's MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then there's Subspace Emissaries right above it.
Oh wow,
It's pretty cool with all
that good, huh?
It's, you talk about collaborations and tie-ins and people come in there that should not be there. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Pretty cool.
Okay, I can dig
that. I don't know.
Like that's some crossover craziness, huh?
Yeah,
Sakurai
absolutely.
flexing on everybody
as he normally does.
Of course.
And so, apart from that, I didn't even really get into fighters until I guess college, where I got roommates and they wanted to play fighting games, and so we got Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and they all wanted to fight, and so we played Ultimate, and I sucked at that. Realized I hated it.
Yeah, so that was very obvious.
They all wanted to play it, so I played it with them. And then Fighter Z came up whenever that came out, and that was where my bread and butter was. But then once I found out about Fighter Z, I developed an appreciation for Arc systems. And
yeah, because you played through the Guilty Gear collection, didn't you? I think you got really kind of into the lore and everything, didn't you?
I got real curious about the lore, and I have the collection. I'm still trying to beat the first game, the first canon ending of the game, because the only canon ending is when you beat it with Saul, bad guy, and then you fight everything, and then Justice shows up, and then you get specific dialogue, and that's what's canon. So I'm trying to get that, and then once I'm done with that, I'll delete it, and then I'll go to the next game, find the canon ending, and then I'll fight it and beat it. And that's just kind of my basis for beating all the games. But there's like a 4-hour dissertation on the Guilty Gear lore up to Strive by the they're called the Pro-Crastinators. And it's pretty cool. It's a lot to take in. So I mean, I used to drive a lot on the road, so I would just find tons of stuff to listen to, and that came up, and I was like, all right, I'll hear it, and it was wild. That I don't remember his name, but he's on some shit to make up Guilty Gear.
Oh yeah, Daisuke Ishiwatari.
I think you're right. I know Daisuke. Daisuke is first name.
Like that guy pretty much built that thing from the ground up. They were like, we want you to make a fighting game and do the music and like the character designs and direct this shit. Like, I don't know. It's wild. And it's kind of cool to actually play through that whole series and see how the music started and like changes over the entries. Cause, Strive the sound of Strive is different from Rev 2, is different from X2 and Accent Core and so on and so forth. My bread and butter was X2 Accent Core, so that's where I started and got into the series. But yeah, like you really didn't play a lot of actually traditional 2D fighting games coming up. You really only joined the Fighting Game Appreciation Society in the last decade or so.
Yeah, not less than
more like the last 5 years.
Yeah, probably 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, until I could really begin to appreciate it, and I was like, wow, okay, so this is what the technicality of everything looks like. And I started watching Evo and stuff like that, and And it's
Oh
like,
man,
wow,
so fun to watch.
this is what everyone's doing. This is the allure of fighting games.
E-
Because there was a point.
Evo Evo is the game that makes me understand why people like watching speedrunning.
Yeah.
When you see somebody do something so damn well, and I've enjoyed some speedruns. Not all of them. Some of them I'm kind of like, okay. Like I think I saw somebody speedrun Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and they're like dashing backwards the whole time, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I can't really get any enjoyment out of it, but like I love watching a lot of the matches from Evo and some of the other events, especially now that they pretty much stream them and show them up on YouTube, and you can watch the matches whenever you want to. You don't have to like be online at a certain time. You can do that and see it live, but there's a lot of like a rebroadcast. So if you can't get there at the right time, you can watch them again. And I love that, and it's fun seeing people get hyped up about it. I mean, there's always the classic Daigo and the Daigo moment in Street Fighter 3.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you serious? Like you've been
Yeah.
on the internet this long and you haven't seen the God? It's from an old Evo. There, it's oh god, I've dropped the other guy's name and I feel terrible about it because it's a classic. But yeah, Daigo Umehara, I think his name is. He's a Street Fighter pro, and they literally have this match, and he's about to lose, and it's like Chun-Li versus Ken, and in the video, Chun-Li goes for like this super move version of the lightning kick, and he literally parries every single hit manually, and then hits back and wins the match, and the entire place just erupts. I will show you after we get off this podcast, and you'll be impressed. It's amazing.
That's pretty hype.
Yeah, it's like one of the earliest hype moments there is, and I think it's a little, but that's true. You weren't part of the fighting game players,
the community back then.
Yeah, you really weren't. So you wouldn't know about that. That's true. I, on the other hand, one of the reasons we're talking about the fighting games is because we played so much this weekend, and we had a small get together. It was a pretty hefty get together, and we had a big tournament and among all these games, and so it gives me the chance to kind of, before we get into like how that went, I can kind of start at the beginning for myself. Unless you had something to add to your own history, I think you kind of got to the end.
Yeah, no, that was it. We are current day Trey.
Oh yeah. See, I came up on Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition in the arcade, Mortal Kombat in the arcade, the original one, causing headlines with all that blood and taking people's heads off with the spine attached. Man, I could never do any moves in that game. No. I couldn't. I am not good at it. And every time somebody actually pulled off a fatality, I was like, "You're amazing. You were perfect at this game." I also, other games that I played in the arcade were Virtua Fighter. And then Soul Edge is I stumbled upon this machine, and before Soul Calibur there was Soul Edge.
Oh, Soul Edge. Okay, yeah, I know Soul Edge.
And I picked up the character Mitsurugi and just started whomping some people, and I was like, this is the best. This is a great feeling to be able to play a game against a human and win. And I thought I was the best player in the world. And then I think a kid like 2 years younger than me came by and whooped my ass with Taki. I think so. Yeah, it was a very humbling moment. I got excited, really, really excited. Kind of started to get a big head, and he was just like, pew, just deflated it. Anyways, that's kind of like where I got into fighting games in the first place. It's definitely the arcade. Just dropping quarters into that bad boy. And then more and more fighting games started coming home. You got them on the Super Nintendo, and there was like groups of kids that would go over to that one kid's house that owned Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo and just played for hours, switching controllers, and that was a really great time, because that's how you got better. Like if you couldn't afford the arcade, you made friends with the kid that owned it. He was your best friend, so you could play Street Fighter 2.
Go spend the night at Little Timmy's.
Yeah. But I've been a part of like fighting game crowd since the beginning, and I was never great. I got good on a few games. I mean, I played Super Street Fighter 2, definitely played some Mortal Kombat. I played the original Smash Brothers, which I was actually decent at, and then I got distracted with other stuff. I played Samurai Showdown. I tried to play Fatal Fury, and I remember looking at a Nintendo Power, maybe it was Game Pro or something, and they had the motions and the buttons required to do special moves in that game, and it was so complicated to my little kid brain. I was like, no, I'm never playing this game ever again. It just upsets me. So yeah, I don't think I've ever gone back to like King of Fighters or Fatal Fury or anything like that. And I think King of Fighters is much more approachable now. I just never went back to it. Stuck to my weird games because after a certain period I started getting into like the more niche games because it became more common.
Mhm.
So as things went on, I got into things like Arcana Heart. What else was it? There was Melty Blood. Melty Blood was one, and of course Dragon Ball Z was huge for me earlier than everybody else. So I when I was at the peak hype for Dragon Ball Z, I modded my place, like got my PlayStation modded, and then imported Dragon Ball Ultimate Battle 22, and then I think Dragon Ball GT Real Bout,
Yeah.
and it just I was so pumped for it. And those games are not good; like they're really basic versions
I
of
played
a
Real Bout. I did play it, but
yeah.
like not. I played it at a friend's house like once or twice. I think it was. I've wiped my ass and had a better time than playing Real Bout.
I was just so hyped to have like an anime video game because that was the thing is like those were not common back in the day. Like if you wanted an anime-esque game of any sort, you imported it. I remember just being obsessed with the back of like Game Pros and Electronic Gaming Monthlies always had like these import shops and they'd show off these games I really wanted, like Sakura Wars, Sakura Tyson, Waku Waku 7. It was kind of a weird anime fighter as well. And just so like the Saturn was coming out, I was so hyped for it. And I think I continued on throughout the years. I started playing DOA 2 hardcore on PS2 in college, and I got really good at it there. I started getting into Guilty Gear and played through X2, and then I think I got Iska, which frustrated me to no end for a bit. So I put down the game for a while because you had a manual turnaround button.
Oh,
And it had a 2-layer, it had a foreground background kind of system, as well as a manual turnaround button. So you
that's
could actually do attacks while transitioning to the background or foreground. And it was a cool idea. It was just so complex because you also still had like dusts and Roman cancels and all kinds of things. So it was like pro player kind of levels of stuff, and it was very intimidating. And then I got really into X2 Accent Core when they added in a lot of extra characters and stuff. And I just completely ignored Smash from that point on. Like I remember being in college and being really into DOA and Guilty Gear, and everybody was always in the common room just playing melee for hours on end. Like I don't think there was really much time you could not walk into a melee game going on at the common room when I was in school. So I at least had that as an option, but I always felt a little outside of it. Like it was too much for me. I hadn't played in years, and these guys were good. They were good at least for the dorm we were in,
mm-hmm.
and it was very intimidating. So I was like, nah, I'll just go get some cereal or something. But
it's a good alternative to Smash. I'd rather go eat cereal than play Smash. I am not a fan of Smash.
And then I had a quiet period. I remember playing a little bit of Soul Calibur, and I play a few things here or there, but I dropped fighting games for a while. And I'd say it's only been in the last 2 years that I've really picked them back up. I got back into DOA. I picked up Dragon Ball FighterZ, which I should really put some more time into because I'm still not good enough to compete with you. Guilty Gear started hyping up Strive, and it just looks so damn pretty. And it was everything I wanted. It was the music, it was the character design, the cell shaded graphics just look so fluid. It's like a fighting game that's an anime, like one of those 3D animes. And a lot of people have given like the kind of like the big counter things popping up on screen and like the counter getting bigger and bigger and bigger and being on the real estate of the screen as being kind of distracting. And I don't think so. I think it kind of adds like this fun moment in the middle of the fight. There's nothing better than having somebody like doing a combo and you manage to just interrupt it with a counter and it just slams the screen and it kind of turns it and slow-mos them out of what they're the hit. And it's just a lot of fun. Our group of friends really jumped on it. You and I were the ones that were really excited about it, and I think you just stopped at one point.
I didn't hop on the train once it came out. I everyone else did, but I did
Oh
not.
man,
I was like,
man.
I don't even know what happened. It just happened. I think it surprised me when it came out, and then now everyone's the best, and I am
Oh,
not. So
I've been playing the series for years, and like I got very familiar with it again really quickly, and I thought I was gonna be clapping some cheeks at this tournament, and these boys just went nuts watching tutorials on YouTube, like practicing day in and day out. I'm like, do you guys have jobs? What's happening? And we would get online and play together to practice, and I think I kept a pretty even keel for a while, and then there was about 2 weeks before this tournament where I couldn't touch anyone anymore because I could only practice occasionally. You know,
yeah,
in the game, you actually, when you play online, you go up floors of skill, and I'm on level 2. They were on like level 7 and 8, and yeah, yeah. I'm not a sore loser. I've gotten past that part of me that gets upset when I lose. So it's always really
yeah,
funny because I'll lose like 20 matches. And I'll just be like, God damn it! All right, let's do it again.
yeah. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, and that's part of it. You know, it's just part of gaming in general, especially competitive gaming. I think being able to accept a loss is probably one of the most valuable skills you can have as a gamer.
Absolutely. No, being able to my thing. Whenever I first started getting into Dragon Ball Z or Fighter Z, I I was absolute ass, as you would be. But
Mm-hmm.
my friends had started playing it before me, and my friend Ben was showing me how to play, and that's when I first got Frieza. And like I started playing him, and he felt right, and I would start doing things, and he would tell me to stop, and so I would do something. He would punish me immediately, and he'd be like, "Stop doing that." Stop doing that. And so I would make the same mistakes. And then I'd realize I have to mix up. I have to do something
Mm-hmm.
different. Okay, I see what's going on here. And so after like a couple months of that, I realized, okay, here's what I have to do.
Yeah.
And it's fun being able to look intrinsically and realize, here's how I'm playing wrong. Here's what I have to do. And so when I go online and play Dragon Ball Fighter Z, I can see people doing the same thing. And like you can
Mm-hmm.
almost see the gears turning in the player once they kick it up a notch. And it's like, that's how this motherfucker's playing. And so
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
fun. It's cool seeing
Our
that.
friend Will is doing that with me on Guilty Gear Strive because he's a Potemkin player and I play
Mhm.
Giovanna. So like my whole kit is to characters to get in there and attack and mix up your combos. It's very fast. She's a rushdown character and he's a thrower. Like so, being close to him, like he's a grappler. Like being close
Dangerous.
to him is dangerous. And you know he's huge on the screen, so like the hitboxes for his stuff are definitely unusual as well. Like because I'm used to running in and like I'm at the edge of the character, and I think I can grab and I miss because the actual place you can grab is right in the middle of the character. So I had to
Hmm.
get used to that. But it's really cool because he'll talk shit the whole time, which is fantastic because he's funny as hell. But he'll also do the same moves over and over and over until I realize, oh, he's just showing me how to beat this, like how to survive it, how to deal with it. And so it's fun to lose to Will because I learn something each time, and it's always really fun when he kind of is like, oh, when I start kind of figuring things out, and it's
Hmm.
I think that's what makes it a lot of fun for me to be back into fighting games. Like I was out for quite a long time, and after the tournament we had this weekend, which you know with our friend Daryl having the little tournament bracket program on his computer, that made everything super easy. We had like 4 stations going, so it went really smoothly.
Hmm.
But after this weekend, I really want to learn Dragon Ball Fighter Z a lot more. I'm definitely stronger and feel better playing a traditional 2D arcade fighter. Smash is a fun novelty, and I think when we played the large 8-player game and even like 4-player games, that's fun. That's kind of like a party game kind of thing. And
Yeah.
but the one-on-one kind of like technical games, I was not very good at. I'm getting there a little bit.
That my only thing was I could only shine on Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and that was it. And I tried to shine on Mario Kart, but I don't know.
You were
I
having a
got
rough night. You're usually top dog on that bad boy.
I got done dirty somewhere. I don't know what happened. Someone took the battery out of my controller or something. I
All
got
I know, all I know is the salt that people had for Mario Kart going into that freaking tournament was unwarranted because that game ended up being hype as hell. Like everybody was really into it,
oh
and
yeah.
I was shocked, but it was a lot of fun. It was a blast, and yeah, I know that's not a fighting game, but it might as well be.
It's fighting in cars. We'll take it. It's the new Twisted Metal at this point.
Oh God, Twisted Metal! What a name drop!
Yeah, they're supposed to be
Wow,
working on a new one. I think, or they're working on shows. They're not working
really?
on a new Twisted Metal. I don't believe, or
Mm.
I don't remember. I've heard so many Twisted Metal rumors. I don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah,
But it's supposed to be a TV show at some point. We'll see.
interesting. Okay,
I think Sweet Tooth is the focal point of it.
probably.
Let me stop spreading rumors.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe do some research on that bad boy. But
Yeah.
yeah, fighting games are a great experience. I actually would encourage anybody who has a passing interest in fighting games to check out Guilty Gear Strive. It is very, very beginner friendly. The system is not complex. There's only so many moves. It's not complex to pick up the game. It's very simple. It's a very deliberate speed. But if you want to be an expert, you can get there. Absolutely. Look on YouTube and look at the freaking like 20-minute long dissertations on combos and Roman cancels and all that shit for every single character. But if you just want to play the game with your friends, it's a good one. It's a good one. It's worth it. Don't shake your head at me. You're
If you
just
want
jealous.
something more kinetic, something fast, you go for fighters. Dragon Ball Fighters.
I will admit, Dragon Ball FighterZ is kinetic as hell. I even button mashing, which I started with, it feels like you know what you're doing to a certain degree, and it's a lot of fun to like kind of disappear and reappear around someone, like knock them around the stage, and I started getting the hang of how each character worked. Very, very kinetic. I like the tag team system, or it's very reminiscent of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is um, a huge boon for that game because there was a lot of people that love that style.
Yeah.
So yeah, fighting games are the best.
I'll give it to you. Fine.
It's like they're fun.
For the sake of the title of this episode, I'll let you have it.
All right, Trey, are you ready for my new feature? It's called Bonsai Bandits Anime and Manga Recommendations.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my username, just in case anybody had never heard that. But yeah, Steven's recommendations for manga and anime this week are, and this might be hard to get a hold of one because I think it's out of print. But if you can chase down even some way to watch it, there is a series called Raw Zephyr. It is a
spell it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. RAHXEPHON.
All right.
So, Raw Zephyr is this interesting giant mech show. Teenage protagonist, of course. And it's sci-fi and kind of cerebral as hell. So, it may sound a lot like a certain series that everybody loves called Neon Genesis Evangelion. But whereas yeah, I know it's get the torches and everything. I think we're not. I think we're kind of in the minority on that one. Anyways, yeah. Raw Zephyr is a great series. It has a lot of similar tropes from that era, but it is what you wanted Evangelion to be. So the concept is basically this: the main character is living his life just fine, and then it turns out that a giant evil bad guy robot breaks through the sky, and it turns out he's been living in this bubble that was separated by these aliens, and so he ends up getting involved with this organization and piloting this mech against these monsters that keep attacking, and they're kind of like, it's a lot of music and song based stuff, but and he has to like learn about the robot and the people around him, who in the organization is reliable, and just who he is. Like, is he actually human? Is he one of the aliens? And he keeps having this vision of this teenage girl like that shows up in his dreams, and he can't quite place who she is. So there's a lot of mystery going on. There's a lot of giant robot fights. There's a lot of human drama going on as well. But it's so well paced throughout the whole series. I mean, I gave like a bare bones description of this series. I recommend it a lot of times because in the place of Neon Genesis Evangelion, it's a little more positive towards the end of the thing. There's resolution. It's probably one of the few giant robot anime series that like I've seen that has resolution. Like the characters have an ending, the story has an ending, and it's fantastic. It's animated. I want to say it was animated by Bones. Can't 100% remember that exactly without getting on the phone right now, but maybe I'll update it on Twitter later. But it has an opening song by Maya Sakamoto, which is a fantastic song to listen to. I actually still have it on my rotation in my playlist. But I recommend this show. It was released by I believe it's ATV back in the day, and it's like a 26 episode series. And I promise, if you watch it and you like good characterization, a little bit of drama, some giant robot fights, you will be satisfied. And that would be my first recommendation for anime to find.
So you can watch Raw Zephin on Amazon Prime as of now.
Nice.
The date whenever this is published, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It is produced by Bones. So
nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Is it the movie or is it the TV series?
TV series.
Nice. Get on there and check it out, guys. It is fantastic. I can't encourage you enough, especially since it's music. It has a music theme, kind of like sound and song is a part of the theme going throughout the show as well. And it's a really, really unique take on giant robots. I'm going to keep it really vague because I want you to actually watch it, and a lot of the details are important. So if I give too much information, it's going to kind of spoil some stuff. Yeah. But it's a solid watch, and it's Studio Bones, so you really can't go wrong.
No, I like how this sounds. I am invested in this.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear your take on it, because I watched it after Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I was like, that is a superior show. That is easily a superior show in my book. But that is my first recommendation. My second recommendation is a kind of romantic comedy show with a kind of unusual supernatural twist to a degree.
Monster Musume?
No. That's your favorite anime. You even have it in steelbook form.
If only.
Yeah, they did release it in a steelbook, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check out RiseStuffAnime.com. You'll find what you're looking for.
On it.
You and your monster girls. So this series is called Midori no Hibi, or Midori's Days. This was released domestically by Media Blasters back in the day. I actually have a box set of it. It's only like a 12 episode series, but the concept is this guy. He's this delinquent called Mad Dog Sawamura, Seiji Sawamura, and he's this delinquent, and it's really well animated. But there's this girl that's kind of watching him, and so it kind of introduces him and shows you what kind of person he is. He's actually a good guy. He just ends up getting involved with bad people because he's trying to do the right thing. So his image is that he's this delinquent, but he's actually just a nice guy and kind of has a mean looking face. So he goes to bed one night and he wakes up and there's a girl on his right hand, a girl named Midori, and she's in love with him. And so he goes to the story, trying to be this badass delinquent, but has this little girl on his hand. And he's like, I got a reputation to go with. Like, I can't have some tits on my hand. Like, the dub is so good. The writing on the dub is definitely not probably one for one, but they had so much fun writing that thing. But it actually goes through like how he handles having the girl in his hand, the people that were in her life that she like her real body in the real world, because he goes and chases her down, is actually in a coma at this point, and they have to decide what they're going to do. And there's a student council president girl who gets involved with Seiji, and of course falls in love with him too. So now you have like the rival, and all kinds of hijinks ensue. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever watched, and it's pretty old at this point. I think that one is actually out of print.
So Midori Days, or Midori no Hibi, can be watched free on Tubi.
Really?
As of today, whenever this is published.
What?
Yeah, free on Tubi.
Nice.
But let's see, it only came out in 2004. That is kind of old, but it ain't too bad. And there's a snippet here. It shows Midori on his hand helping him wash his back. And this looks hilarious.
Yes, it is. It is fantastic, and it's got a lot of that early 2000s kind of goofy faces going on and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The humor is solid. The romance and drama is pretty good. My best girl didn't win, but that's okay. That's pretty common. My taste tends to lean towards not best girl. But it's 12 episodes. Get on it. It's like an afternoon, and it's funny as hell. If you can chase down the bloopers, the bloopers extra, like on YouTube or something, that shit is hilarious. It
Oh,
is
they made a
so funny.
bloopers reel for the
Yeah, like
anime.
the English dub actors have a blooper reel on one of the special features, and it is funny because they have a lot of fun with it. I can't tell you how much I laughed when I watched that blooper reel. So yeah, get on that. It's a lot of fun. It's lighthearted. It's not too serious. It looks good, and it's a solid watch. I give it a nice 9 out of 10 because my best girl didn't win.
Damn.
Yeah. The and last but not least, I'm going to give a manga recommendation, which is I read a lot of manga. I read a lot more manga these days than I get to watch anime, much to my chagrin. But the one I'm going to recommend is Yansha Gao no Anjo-san by Kato Yuichi, and this series is interesting. It's another one of those kind of teasing series because I apparently have a favorite genre at the moment. So it's kind of this studious guy, kind of plain looking, has bowl cut glasses. He's kind of, plain, but he's a nice guy. He's a good, solid guy. And this kind of, Yankee kind of gal starts kind of like messing with him to a certain degree, just kind of teasing him a little bit, and is just getting close to him. And each chapter is basically like some version of her teasing him and him kind of overreacting to it to start out with. But then it starts kind of getting into a storyline down the way. And, some people think she's an easy girl, but it's not really the case going on. And he defends her. So she, of course, becomes even more like attached to him, and you get to meet her friends and then how they connect. But the main character's best friend in this series is so good. He's hilarious to me because he's an otaku, but an otaku of weird stuff, like kind of unusual things. And one of the friends of the main girl ends up talking to him at one point, and because he's like messing around, just being weird, and like puts bows in his hair, and she says it's cute. So then he shows up to school the next day with like bows all over his head, and she's like, "You're so fucking creepy," and he just owns it. Like every time he does something creepy, and like the main character's like, "You really should probably choose a different way to say that, or don't say that," and he just owns it. He's actually like he's a really good character, and they expand on him too. So you end up kind of like slowly but surely learning a little bit about the main character, what happened to him in the past, and who Anjo-san actually is, and then you meet her friends, and then of course the main character's guy friend, and it kind of expands from there. They end up with like kind of like 3 guys group and then a 3 girls group, and the story actually starts to have a plot at some point.
Yeah,
but it's just a sweet, cute show. It's not nearly as mean spirited as Nagatoro was at the beginning. She's mostly just kind of like, kind of cock teasing him to a certain degree. There's a lot of like angles from down the shirt, but the art in this thing is amazing. It like the designs are unusual compared to most manga. I'd actually say some of the designs remind me of hentai artists at times. But it's got a very like they have very like V-shaped chins. And there's a lot of detail in the clothes, and I think that's what's really cool. Is clearly the author likes fashion a lot. So there's a lot of detail in the clothes, and there's some pretty fun like super deformed moments, little cute character designs. And I'm a huge fan of it. I've been reading it for a while now. It's up to chapter 105. You can find it on a lot of different sites out there, and I highly recommend it. It's being translated by a group called, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. It's being translated. It's out there.
What's this manga called again?
Yansha Gao no Anjo-san.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not licensed in America yet, or North America. But you can chase down a way to read it. We'll just say that. And I highly recommend it, especially if you like more lighthearted teasing series and you like really good art and kind of goofy characters at different times. So it's a solid recommend. So. And that kind of wraps up my recommendations for this week. I have tons and tons of them, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of just throw a few out at the end of our episodes for people to kind of check out.
Yeah.
Anyways,
like
yeah,
we can make some post about it and kind of share some more and kind of help spread the wealth of knowledge inside your head there, Senpai. Kind of get some of that out into the world.
Yeah, I try to do what I can. I use my knowledge for good most of the time.
Yeah, I don't even do that. I'm here for an agent of entropy, if you would.
Okay.
Apart from that, man, you got any other closing comments or anything else for the good of the weeb community?
I encourage everyone, as a last little shout out, to go back in time and see if you can chase down some of the YouTube videos of the Haruhi dance and the Lucky Star dance. There was a period of anime where like the intro and outro songs started having the characters dancing, like in like synchronized dancing, and it became a trend on YouTube for a bit. It started out with the Melancholy of Suzumiya Haruhi, and then when Lucky Star came out, the opening song also had synchronized dancing. So these were really, really popular at the time. So there ended up being a lot of like fans who emulated the dance. And it ranged anywhere from like cosplayers to just, teenage girls in Minnesota or some shit like that. But there's some pretty good ones out there. I recommend everybody at least entertain themselves and see if they can chase those down.
I think I'm gonna get a Patreon started, and I'm gonna get like 5 people on there, and we're gonna get you to do that dance. I think is what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be me. I'm gonna make 5 different accounts.
Oh, so you're gonna basically pay to make me do the Haruhi dance.
I'm gonna make 5 different variations of my name. It's only 4 letters, but I'm gonna make 5 different variations, and I'm gonna get you to do that dance.
Okay,
so
we will see.
Put it on there.
All
but
right,
okay. Apart from that, man, I don't think I have anything else. We'll
done.
Call it a night there. If you
all right,
come
man.
Tuck me in here, I think we'll be all right.
I'm on my way.
Oh, thank God. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for tuning in for this week's episode. Let us know what you think, and if you got any questions, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter, on the Senko Podcast Twitter at SENKOU Podcast. We are ready and available to take any questions, comments, concerns, or recommendations. If you got any, you can listen to this podcast at any of your available podcasting services. Although we are tracking, there's an issue on Stitcher we are going to be working on fixing. It's not catching our updates, so you can listen to our updated episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Google Podcast. Did I say YouTube?
Yeah, you did. There's also Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcast. That's what it's not. Yeah, good deal.
There's lots of stuff.
God, just type it somewhere, man. You'll find it. You'll listen to us now. All right, guys. Steven, with that, man, I will see you next time. Enjoy.
Next time.
And good night.
Good night.